Good afternoon, welcome to JoyNews Today. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We're on DTT because we're free to air on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125. JoyNews is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Coming up this afternoon, Ghana Revenue Authority fights back, standing firmly behind Strategic Mobilization Limited, insisting the company save the state more than 3 billion cedis. Details plus an update on a possible OSP investigation into the allegations by Fourth Estate in its 3 billion lie expose. Also this afternoon, Supreme Court Justice nominee Henry Anthony Kwofie warns journalists and media commentators to be mindful of insulting and inciting languages against judges as he argues against a law on contempt of court. We have details as the nominee says the perception of political judgment from the Supreme Court is not real. Lascodeo expresses disappointment with the Electoral Commission's handling of the district-level election after it postponed voting in the Ashanti and Eastern regions to Thursday. Meanwhile, the Ghana Police Service is in pursuit of some individuals for violent disturbances during the process. Accra Mayor urges drivers in the capital to adhere road traffic regulations to help in reducing crashes on the road during this Christmas. We'll hear more from her as she inaugurates some equipment at the Holy Spirit Cathedral intersection as part of road safety campaign. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. We're also live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X Spaces via JoyNews on TV. My personal handle is @Nana Aisha. Please do stay for details. One of the three latest nominees of President Kwofie of the Supreme Court, Justice Henry Anthony Kwofie, is advocating against enacting a law to regulate judges using power of contempt. The power of contempt allows judges to summarily punish persons who disobey orders of the court or disrupt legal proceedings in a court. The power has been used in Ghana to punish journalists and other commentators who use vulgar language on some judges and the ones that judges do not like, and has been criticized by some lawyers and media professionals. When asked by Medina MP Susu at the Appointments Committee whether there should be a law to regulate this power, Justice Kwofie, currently a Court of Appeals judge, explained commentators and media professionals must rather be circumspect of their language.
Did you see what was given to you?
I saw it, yes.
And you saw that chargeable income, nil, meaning you don't earn anything. Because the tax is supposed to be charged on what you earn.
I assumed that they had taken into consideration the fact that the salary had been paid at source and that I had not earned any other salary.
Talking about any other salary. It's any salary, any income. Because, in fact, GRA will compute the taxes on anything you earn. The leader is here, we take it from there. In your various answers to the questions about perception of corruption, indeed, you are not the only arm of government that suffers that, as a matter of fact. I don't personally believe every judge is corrupt or is up to no good. I don't believe that. Just as the way I don't believe every politician is up to no good. But there's a perception that is placed negatively on the executive, legislature, and yourselves. In all your answers, sometimes you give an answer suggesting that, yes, you agree you are a human institution. That could be a miscreant. That's the same way there could be a miscreant in parliament or in government. But then on another leg, then you make it look like, oh, I mean, we have the various ways of people reporting wrongdoing. Is it the case that you don't believe that there are judges that have misconducted themselves in reality, not perception?
Honorable Member, I've sat on a committee which has been referred to, which we have found judges have misconducted themselves. I don't deny that judges misconduct. Some judges misconduct. That's why I said that some miscreants. That's why I used, and some judges misconduct themselves. But that is not the, because somebody, another member said that, does it give the impression that judges are, that was why I answered and said it is not, these committees that I served on should not be used as an indicator that judges are corrupt and judges are bad. These were, if I, for want of a better word, these were people who fell foul of the law and they have been dealt with.
Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kwofie Asante joins us with details from the hearings. Kweku, which other questions have the appeals court judge been responding to?
Well, Aisha, so it's been more than 2 hours of brilliant questions from members of the Public Accounts Committee, centering mainly on judicial corruption. The questioning just heard Governor Kwame Abuja leave the justice on. Justice Kwofie has stood firm in arguing that judges may be corrupt, but it does not permeate the judiciary, and that this perception that judges are so corrupt in this country is not something. And of course, this question about the power of contempt, I said that we know that judges are able to bring that contempt in facially, the contempt that happens in the face of the judge. And some of these cases that have come up so far, Justice Kwofie is concerned that if you take away this power, then judges will become more helpless, because judges do not have the power to respond to certain spurious allegations that are made against them, and so forth and so on. So he believes that that power must be maintained. There's been also been questions about illegal mining in Galamsey. Justice Kwofie says he agrees that the judiciary must offer or must actually give out very stiff punishment to actually deter persons who are involved in illegal mining in Galamsey. Although he admits that not all cases of Galamsey actually end up on the Supreme Court because of the trial nature, they go to the High Court. But one other question he has been answering is whether or not the Supreme Court is currently packed. We know that, but for 1 or 2 judges currently on the Supreme Court, all the judges there were appointed by President Kwame. He's appointed more than 15 judges since he was elected president in 2017. And so those questions have been coming in from the minority about whether or not there has been a backing of the Supreme Court. He says that is not the case. But if you look at the workload of the Parliament, the judiciary, the Supreme Court, the numbers are quite commensurate. These 3 new judges that the president has appointed, if they are approved, will go on to add up to 15 on the Supreme Court. He says that is fairly normal. That a comparison some have sought to make between the Supreme Court of Ghana and the Supreme Court of the United States is irregular, because the Supreme Court in the US can pick and choose which case they would decide to hear or not to hear. That is not the case with the Supreme Court of Ghana, which has very diverse jurisdiction in terms of the cases they're able to hear. So it's been grueling. He is done now. Parliament has come up to work on some businesses. They suspended the sitting. We expect that the committee will go back and the next committee will come up.
Who will be next to face the committee, Kwofie Asante? Do we know?
Yeah, Justice Yaudak Wansari. He's also a court of appeal judge. He's next in line. All 3 nominees of the president are all court of appeal judges. And so Justice Yaudak Wansari is going to face the committee. Ordinarily, the committee arranged that they're going to do this 2 hours, from 8 to 10, and then 10 to 12, and then 12 to 2. But it appears a lot of the questioning have gone in, and then it's delayed time a little bit. It's past 12:10, and in the next few moments, we expect that Justice Yaudak will take his chair. Chief Justice himself, Justice Gertrude Chokunu, is around. We understand that she's going to sit through each and every one of these proceedings today, so that these events can happen.
Kwofie Asante is our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent. We'll definitely bring you more from the vetting and also happenings in Parliament in our subsequent bulletins. Let's get on to other stories. Ghana Revenue Authorities fighting back and standing firmly behind Strategic Mobilization Limited, insisting the company saved the state more than 3 billion cedis. Details plus an update on a possible OSP investigation into the allegations by the Fourth Estate in its 3 billion cedis lie expose. But first, at a media briefing yesterday, an IT specialist at SML, Prince Sapon, backtracked and defended the false claims.
So in estimate, what actually happened with the 3 billion is, as I talked about, the money is all about the volumes. So if there's an increase in volume, there's an increase in revenue. And since SML started operation, we can confidently say that there has been an average monthly increase of 100 million liters. So if you multiply it by 24 months, with the tax component that we are not even using the 1.74, we are using the old tax component, which is 1.44, that will arrive at the 3 billion that we talked about.
SML, in a statement, has since described the documentary as a falsehood. Meanwhile, lead investigator at the Fourth Estate, Manasseh Azuriah, is challenging SML to publish the contract details to authenticate its claims.
Same Prince Sapon, who in July this year, when we went there and the managing director of the company said that we should, the figures, they couldn't stand by the figures. Prince Sapon was actually there and he insisted that the managing director was right and that he did the presentation that day and that the media was what misquoted them. And he even said that we cannot talk about revenue because we are not GRA. So it is strange that this person is not only contradicting the managing director, who is superior to him, but he is contradicting himself. And we have that recording, which we've made available to the multimedia group. And I hope that maybe in your subsequent bulletins, you will play for the entire country to know how this company almost every day seems to have a different position on their own issues.
All right. Now, we know you've petitioned the Office of the Special Prosecutor. What's the latest on that?
Well, the information I have, because we got information that some of the reporters asked why Christian Tetesuti was not available, and they said that he had been invited by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. The information I have is that the Office of the Special Prosecutor has not extended an invitation to anybody. And I have confirmed this with sources to that office. And so we haven't heard what has been done, but I can say that no invitation has been sent. And just briefly, the Hamdan, the head of engineering, also spoke about the meters. In fact, if you watch that documentary, I put a specific question to him that there are meters and the existing meters, which of them takes more, which of these two takes more accurate readings?
Okay.
And what existed before SML came takes more accurate reading, and he answered that, and that is a fact that they cannot deny.
Well, the GRA is fighting back some of the claims. My colleague Samuel Mbura has joined me in the studio. Mbura, first tell me about the background to this contract.
Well, Aisha, if you look at the statement issued by the GRA, it says that, or it affirms that together with the Ministry of Finance, it has signed a consolidated contract with SML to monitor and audit one downstream petroleum sector. The company is already doing that from 2019 till now. Upstream petroleum production from 2023 is supposed to take effect this year, and minerals and metals resources value chain for 2023. According to the GRA, the new and consolidated contract, which is a term of 5 years and not 10 years, as been alleged by the publication, was agreed upon based on the performance of SML in the monitoring of the downstream petroleum sector and the provision of instant reconciliation of real-time data in the sector.
And what's the claim by the Fourth Estate?
Well, so the Fourth Estate is, discounting all these claims, but the GRA goes further to make some performance analysis of the downstream assurance contract that SML has undertaken for some time now. So the GRA says that prior to the engagement of SML, it was actually a manual system. They operated a manual system for the measurement of fuel in depots. So they used the dipstick, and which later posed some dangers to their officers who went around the country to carry out these measurements. And it's also archaic and then couldn't give them accurate measurements. Secondly, they said that the current oil deposited by the bulk oil distribution companies in the depots is measured by SML. So anything that has to do with measurement is being carried out by SML with the aid of sensors installed on the depot. So if you go to a depot, some of the valves have been connected with some meters, flow meters that take readings based on sound, what they call the ultrasound, to give the accurate meaning. So again, they say SML measured all the various liftings of the oil marketing companies, that's the OMCs, who go to take fuel from the depots. All these pieces of information, according to GRA, are captured and reconciled with data from the ICOMs. They have a system that they are able to monitor with all the players involved, including the finance ministry, the movement and the flow of petroleum products in the country. So this is done according to GRA with the GRA petroleum units. If there are discrepancies, customs, according to GRA, inform the OMCs and enter a post-entry to correct the differences with SML, depending on the data that they provide. Again, GRA is saying that SML in the petroleum sector provides additional data independent of the customs ICOMS data capable of validating anomalies in the quantities imported, discharged, and accounted for by way of taxes. It goes further to say that's a 4 point in terms of the performance of SML. The revenue assurance exercise undertaken by EY Ghana and later by the Revenue Assurance and Compliance Enforcement of the Ministry of Finance confirmed systematic deficiencies in the accounting and collection of petroleum taxes between 2015 and 2020. According to GRA, the mode of transmission of data from various sources and systems was fraught with inconsistencies, resulting in loss of revenue. Extensive reconciliation had to be done on the various platforms and institutions within the petroleum downstream value chain to collect revenue that would have otherwise been lost. Now, point 5 talks about the corroboration of SML and GRA in terms of the revenue that they accrue annually per their monitoring for the GRA. So it says that the work of SML over the period has led to a significant increase in the figures reported in the downstream petroleum sector from an average of 350 million litres per month in 2018 and 2019 to 450 million litres per month from 2020 to 2021. According to GRA, this represents over a 33% increase in volume reporting and an average of an extra 100 million litres per month at a levy rate of 1.44 pesos. The extra revenue variance gained for the 2 years will exceed 3 billion. This performance, according to GRA, is attributable mainly to the introduction of ICOMS and the SML system. So the last part has to do with the consolidated contract. And the GRA has explained that based on the performance of Strategic Mobilization Ghana, that's SML, the Ministry of Finance directed that the existing contract of SML be expanded to cover the petroleum upstream and the mining sector to minimize the risks of revenue. Because of their performance, they are recommending that they cover other areas. At first, they were not doing the upstream, the metal and mining sector, but they have now been given that gate to enter to carry out these activities. So they have also been responding to the allegations by the Fourth Estate. You know, the Fourth Estate indicated that their data is not being used and then it's redundant. What MPA has is equally what SML has. GRA says that it's reinstating that the consolidated contract, which is a risk reward contract, seeks to bring efficiency in revenue assurance services provided to GRA. SML per the contract is required to provide resources for the execution of the contract. By implication, if there is no value addition, SML is not paid. In short, a principle of risk and reward is the fulcrum of the contract. So if you don't execute the project, they will not pay you anything. So they are trying to discount the claims that $100 million has been awarded to them. What the GRA is claiming is that the contract is for 5 years and is performance-based and approved under the Section 40 of the Public Procurement Act 663/2003. According to GRA, the board and management affirmed that all legal and proper processes were followed in procuring the services of SML. It concludes by saying that SML solely financed the capital expenditures and cutting-edge technology that is employed in the monitoring and auditing services provided to GRA in the downstream petroleum sector. It is assuring that with confidence that with the introduction of various initiatives, technology and revenue assurance measures such as this, GRA will continue to see a significant increase in revenue, such as the about 50% year-on-year increase in revenue this year. However, the GRA says that it will continue to exploit more methods of blocking leakages and increasing compliance to enable us in the country to attain a national tax to GDP ratio over 80%. This has actually been signed by the Communication Directorate of the Ghana Revenue
Authority. Of the Ghana Revenue Authority. We certainly haven't seen the last of this, as we're hearing of an interest by the Special Prosecutor. Samuel Mbura, thank you for the updates, but we'll definitely bring you more on this in our subsequent bulletins. Let's get on to other stories. The Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO, says it is disappointed in the Electoral Commission for failing to ensure the smooth running of the district-level elections, which forced the Commission to postpone voting in some areas in the Ashanti and Eastern regions over technical hitches and inadequate logistics. Alfred Ahen is National Coordinator of CODEO.
It always borders on having to have enough time at your disposal to be able to print and correct mistakes. And I saw that some of the names, for example, if it's Kwofie Ahen, it's Evans Mensah who is under the picture. So, these are some of the mistakes. That tells you that the printing should have started way back to allow for mistakes that have been made to be corrected.
Meanwhile, former Minister for Local Government and Rural Development Nilante Van Der Poy has described as disappointing the seeming unpreparedness of the Electoral Commission for the district-level elections which happened across the country yesterday. The elections were characterized by a plethora of challenges, leading to the EC postponing voting in some polling stations in the Ashanti and Eastern regions. The former minister, speaking on PM Express with Evans Mensah, said the EC must sit up and learn from its mistakes.
Let me say, I will not give any, excuses for the EC's lack of preparedness. The EC was inefficient and ineffective in these particular elections. You see, we must call a spade a spade. The EC has 2 years to prepare for these district-level elections, because the district-level elections happens in between the major national elections. After 2020 elections, the EC knew that they will have district-level elections this year. These elections should have happened as far back as August. It was pushed to September and to December. In all these instances and all these times, what has been the preparation of the EC towards the district-level elections? Should we continue to have a EC who, after national elections, will go to sleep and then will wake from the slumber, come and conduct district-level elections within 3 months, go to sleep again, and wake up 6 months into national elections in 2024, come and mess up again? I think we should be able to call the EC out and tell the EC that it is their duty and mandate to prepare sufficiently, adequately, and well for every election in this country. And as such, immediately after these district-level elections, all the things that we have seen now, they should start preparing towards those things so that in 2024, in the major elections, we will not have these hiccups that we've witnessed in the district-level elections.
Away from the district-level elections, it's been a year since Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia inaugurated the 56.4-kilometer, $45 million Sino-Hydro Corporation Road project. But that project has shown a second defect, with portions of the stretch, especially the Papase Junction in KJB, being a threat to users. Commuters want that portion fixed to avert any calamity. Correspondent Peter Seno has more.
Just about a year ago, similar developments popped up at Kokrantumi, also on the stretch. It got resolved with pavement blocks after JoyNews reported on it. This is Papase Junction. The asphalted road, inaugurated on the 8th of September 2022, has shown its second ugly spot. Here, you see a protruding asphalted road giving way to forces beneath it. Drivers are compelled to move to the shoulders of the road upon reaching this spot. This means there is no walkway for pedestrians anytime there is this coincidental meeting. First-time road users have had to scratch the bellies of their vehicles on it. This has not resulted in any major accident yet, but is a potential accident trigger even as authorities try to reduce the carnage on the roads. Residents and drivers argue this could be as a result of poor job done on this area, as the previous construction had concrete blocks laid to ensure the road is safe for its users. They have been sharing their views on this development and the quality of work done.
As you can see, the cars are suffering a lot because you can see some load over there. A car will just come, cannot cross, and they will decide to reduce the load before the car will move and they will put it back. So it's a worry. It's a worry. And this road is not even up to 2 years. And these things are happening. So we are pleading with the government to see to it that the contractor will come back on the site to fix it.
The contractor should come back and repair it again. The contractor should come back and do it for us again. Otherwise, the lifespan will be very short, which will be a problem for the government.
Oh yes, it's as a result of a shoddy work being done here. Because this road was constructed before, I could say, during President Kwofie's time, and this place was constructed with tiles nicely, and nothing happened here. But this time round, I think it's as a result of a shoddy work being done here.
The 56.4 kilometer, $45 million project is just a year old after its inauguration. Peter Sanu for Joy News.
3 weeks, anxiety has gripped commuters and pedestrians navigating the East Legon Underbridge Road. The source of their concern is a damaged height limit pole that has dislodged from its initial placement, now posing a threat on the main road. Faced with this risky situation, drivers find themselves having to navigate cautiously around the obstruction to prevent possible collisions. Kwofie Adai has compiled this report. Read to you.
This is East Legon Underbridge, a bustling access linking East Legon, Spintex and nearby communities. Drivers crossing this area are compelled to employ inventive maneuvers to avoid colliding with the dangerous height limit indicator pole that has shifted from its original position, posing a potential hazard to unsuspecting motorists and pedestrians. An anonymous vendor revealed to us that the height limit indicator pole was reportedly damaged weeks ago by a towing vehicle.
It has happened about 3 weeks ago, and up to date, nobody comes to check even either to work it out, or nobody comes, actually, nobody comes. It was a tow car that came to hit it, and then it caused like this.
Some motorists who spoke to us shared their concerns about the unstable nature of the pole. They fear that it's only a matter of time before the weakened structure gives way, potentially leading to an incident if no action is taken.
We are afraid it's very dangerous because it's broken and it needs to be fixed. Because the cars are passing under it. You don't know what may happen. Air can blow and then it can fall on any car and it can cause dangerous accident again. So the authorities have to come in and check it for us because it's very dangerous to us.
It's really posing danger to the traffic and to passengers around this area. It's very dangerous to us. So please, could you please take the immediate action for us to be safe? Safety is better. As a citizen of Ghana, we have been in the country for years. There are certain things which we need to be corrected. So these are one of the things.
Obviously, it's dangerous. Obviously. So, I mean, those in charge should come and look at it and fix it as quickly as possible. Because the concern is if the other side also gets in, it will cause serious problems for commuters.
Here is main road, and we can't allow this pillar to be on the road. How? Because there's the mountain is there, so they have to go there and then mount it at the right place. So I don't know. Ghana leaders, I don't know.
Kwesi Adai-Kwarteng's report read to you.
Chief Executive Officer of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, Elizabeth Saki, is charging drivers and pedestrians to be extra careful on the road during this festive season to minimize the number of road crashes. In 2022, the Greater Accra region led as the region with the highest recorded road crashes incidents, with 561 incidents. The mayor, speaking to the media after inaugurating the road safety enhancement works at the Holy Spirit Cathedral intersection, said drivers must take note of road traffic regulations to forestall the increase in cases. There's more in this report.
55% of people who died in 2022 due to road crashes were pedestrians. This was contained in the Accra Road Safety Report by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, AMA, and the Bloomberg Philanthropies Initiative. To reduce or prevent road accidents, especially during the Yuletide, the two organizations have started road safety enhancement works at stops identified as accident-prone in Accra. Holy Spirit Cathedral intersection at Adabraka, Havana Junction, Jowulu Junction, and La Paz pedestrian crossing. Samuel Boama Dankwa is the engineer in charge of the project.
Come up with a road safety report that highlights the specific locations where crashes occur, as well as what times of the day they occur, etc. So one of the reports for the previous year gave an indication that the Holy Spirit Cathedral intersection is one of the locations with high crashes and fatalities in the city. And so it was necessary for us to mobilize funds to come and enhance safety here. So placing the challenges side by side, what the proposed interventions were, we were able to agree with the road agencies to place 50 kilometers per hour speed limit signs at all the exiting approaches, so that once you were exiting the intersection, clearly you knew what safe speed you needed to travel. We also were able to lower the curbs at the locations where pedestrians needed to cross, so that our brothers in wheelchairs would have uninterrupted flow. We also marked all the road lines that were faded. The arrow directional lines were all marked. And the Department of Urban Roads is working very hard to ensure that the traffic signal is up. We can see the contractors on the ground working on the signal cables to ensure they are on.
The Chief Executive Officer of the AMA, Elizabeth Saki, charged drivers and pedestrians to be extra careful on the road to minimize the rate of road crashes.
Because the recording death rate is high on this particular road. We all know the slogan, if you drink, don't drive. We are in the Christmas season, and we know there are so many merry making in the nation. So the slogan, if you drink, don't drive. And when you are driving too, we want to plead with everybody. We are not in a hurry to go anywhere, so limit your speed. We know that people are always in a hurry, chasing to buy something or do something there. For that reason, we are pleading that every driver should exercise patience and reduce the speed limit so that we can all cross the 2024, get into 2024 safely.
Moses usually crosses the road at the intersection at Adabraka. He says the enhancement works has made his commute easier.
At first, if you want to cross this road, it's very difficult because as a person with disability using a wheelchair, when you get there, someone have to push or someone have to assist you so that you climb the other end. But now that they have made an accessible ramp, you just get down and then you go. You get there, you climb. But at first, it was difficult for us. So in fact, it's very good and it's cool for persons with disability using a wheelchair.
He advised motorists to observe road regulations. It is expected that this initiative will lead to the reduction in road crashes, leading to death or injuries during Yuletide. For Joy News, Prince Kudege's report read to you.
We're still live on JoyNews Today. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemere. We're on the fan of our street. Let's take a break. When we return, we'll bring you the very latest from the world of business.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the business segment on Joy News Today with me, Pius Kojo-Baka. Ghana's economy for the third quarter of 2023 grew at a slow rate of 2.0% compared to the same period in 2022 with a rate of 2.7%. The agricultural sector recorded the highest growth rate of 5.9%, followed by the services sector with a rate of 5.5%, while the industry sector recorded a contraction of 4.3%. Here's government statistician Professor Samuel Kobneni.
Between the third quarter 2022 and the third quarter 2023, the economy grew by 2.0% year-on-year quarterly GDP, third quarter 2022 compared to third quarter 2023. This growth rate of 2.0% signifies a 0.7 percentage point drop as the economy grew by 2.7% between the third quarter 2021 and the third quarter 2022. From a non-oil perspective, the economy grew by 2.1% in the third quarter 2023. This growth rate of 2.1% is a 1.2 percentage point drop compared to the growth rate of 3.3% between the third quarter of 2021 and the third quarter of 2023. From a sectoral point of view, we continue to see the dominance of the services sector. The services sector commanded 42.1% of the basic prices GDP oil perspective in the third quarter 2023. This was followed by the industry sector commanding 33.0% of the total oil GDP at basic prices and agriculture 24.9% for the third quarter of 2023. From a sectoral point of view, we saw respective growth rates in the agricultural and services sector growing by 5.9 and 5.5% in the third quarter of 2023, and the industry sector contracting by 4.3% in the third quarter of 2023.
We shall be bringing you more analysis on that in our subsequent bulletins. But as part of measures to support startups scale up with the operations, MTN Ghana says it will continue with engagements of businesses through its MTN Ayoba Momo Accelerator program, according to Senior Manager, Enterprise and Marketing Portfolio Management, Benedict Bentel. The company will push for innovation for these enterprises to ensure sustainability. He spoke to Joy Business at the 2023 MTN Platforms Accelerator program.
As part of our long-term strategy to develop and own some of the best platforms in Africa, the Platforms Accelerator is probably gathering the innovators in the space, the young minds who want to generate solutions for the markets in Ghana and in Africa. And this is basically the beginning of a duration of engagements between MTN Business, Digital, Mobile Money Limited, Chinosis, the marketplace, and Ayoba to drive that innovation for the Platforms Accelerator. So this is the beginning of a few more engagements, so the final engagements where the winners will be declared to have provided the best solution in the market. There are a few other categories as well, best engagements in the market and all those kind of things, activities that they'll be doing up till that time to provide them with the knowledge that they need in terms of business and the knowledge that they need in technology as well to help them build the best applications possible. The goal is to draw down the list at every stage. As we continue to go along, there will be a final group of finalists who will be going into the final stage, and out of that we'll pick the winners.
And that's all for business. I am Pius Kojo-Baka. Sports is next.
Let's do sports now on Joy News Today with me, Muftao Nabila Abdullah. On Monday, December 14, head coach of the Black Stars, Chris Hughton, submitted a provisional squad for the African Cup of Nations 2023 to the Confederation of African Football. 11 Ghanaian players who are plying their trade in the local scene made the provisional squad for the competition, and 5 of those players play for Midiama SC. So there's John Entry of Dreams FC, there's also Richmond Lambe of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Godfrey Kingsley Ichoahina of Dreams FC as well, and Emmanuel Entry of Accra Great Olympics. Nations FC Razak Simpson, he's also been given a place in the provisional squad for the competition. All countries participating in the tournament were expected to submit their provisional squad by December 15. Jonathan Soa of Midiama SC, Bedu Michael of Augsburg, Abdel Fattah has also made the squad. He's played 2 times for the Black Stars already. There's also a place for Abdullah Nuruddin, who also plays for Midiama FC. Former Accra House of Oak striker Daniel Free-Bania has been called up as well. Derek Fojo of Midiama SC and Felix Che, who is a goalkeeper, has also been called up into the provisional squad for the competition. And as I mentioned to you earlier, the likes of Nations FC, Zach Simpson, as well as Benjamin Asario of Great Olympics, Kumasi Asante Kotoko's Richmond Lamte, Godfred Etiahene, and John Entry. They've all been given an opportunity to be part of the provisional squad for the tournament, which is expected to start on January 13 and end on February 11. So these are the players who have been called up by Chris Hilton into the provisional squad for the tournament, and Ghana is housed in Group B alongside serial winners of the competition, Egypt, as well as Cape Verde and Mozambique for the African Cup of Nations, which is going to be happening next month. The competition is happening in Côte d'Ivoire, and Ghana will be opening its campaign against Cape Verde on January 14. Now let's move on and talk about other stories, but still related to the Black Stars. Prior to the 2014 FIFA World Cup, reports had suggested that former Black Stars goalkeeper Fathao Dawuda used voodoo against his colleague Adam Larson Kwarase, forcing him out of the Black Stars as a first-choice goalkeeper. Fathao Dawuda, who is now the goalkeeper's trainer for the Sudanese national team, says that he never used any juju on Adam Larson Kwarase, forcing him out of the senior national team.
One thing people don't know about Kwarase. When I was going to play the game, he came to my room to tell me, Fathao, you are going to make us win this cup. So I'm supporting you. Let's go and do it. I remember the game after Cape Verde. We came back to the hotel. He was having some Samsung. He bought some Samsung, new one. Yeah. New. That time, phone. That Samsung phone. Very expensive. You know, Kwarase, he had this white people mindset. So he came and said, Fathao, this boy, I bought it for $1,500. But give me any amount and take it. I'm dashing it to you. And so I have 500. I said, no, bring it. So it's like he dashed me the phone after that game. And then Kojo Asamoah also called me in his room and gave me $1,000 because of that game. Anytime we play the game, before we finish tossing, whatever we do, Kwarase will come, hug me before I go to the field. So, you know something? If you are strong in prayers and people are trying to get to the they will tell you are a devil. I will never in my life go and do. What I do is I pray to get protected, not to get injuries. I can never pray to tell God to let me perform because, okay, if I sit down, I don't train, how can I perform? No, you need to train. You need to learn the basics and go and perform. The only thing you can pray for is maybe to avoid injuries.
So you didn't do juju for?
I prayed a lot. Me, whenever I'm going to play match, let me tell you, the ships I slaughter in my life is going to about 300. 300 ships in my life, I'm telling you. And if I'm going to pray, they don't pray for me alone. They pray for the whole team.
So why do you slaughter them?
It's prayers. I need to pray. I'm Muslim. I believe in Quran. You have to recite the Quran and then slaughter. I did it. And have you heard me getting injured in the national team before? Never. I will never get injured.
So there was no discord between you and Kwarase at the 2014 World Cup?
Never. I'm a player. Whatever the coaches ask you to come, you come and do it. So I know people are listening to you, people are watching. They should take that thing off their mind. Even today, if you meet Kwarase, we talk nicely. I let his agent now or something like that. I don't know.
Coach, he's coaching here. Yeah.
Yes, I'm also coaching. You understand? And so, in this world, if you do wicked to someone, it will follow you.
That's sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com and also at 2 p.m. when we come your way with Sports Today. World News up next.
Time check out what's making headlines in elsewhere. Gunmen have kidnapped a Nigerian High Court judge and killed her guard in southern Akwa Ibom State. Police say Justice Joy Nwana is said to have been abducted on her way back from a court sitting on Monday night along Oyo Okoboim in Oron Town. The gunmen reportedly opened fire and shot a policeman protecting the judge before whisking Justice Nwana and her driver away. A police spokesperson in Akwa Ibom State, Odiko McDonald, said the incident was unfortunate, adding that security forces were now investigating the matter. There was no immediate claim of responsibility, but abductions for ransom by criminal gangs are frequent in some parts of Nigeria. That does it for World News. Up next is Showbiz. Time now for Showbiz. Ghanaian musician Ifya stands firm in her decision to disregard negativity and not let it affect her. She spoke on Prime Morning.
You see these messages on social media, do they get to you when people say
I really
these
don't
kind of
care.
things? Oh, you don't?
I'm the world's greatest.
How do you handle such messages then?
I don't handle them.
You just turn off your phone?
I don't turn on my phone. I block you.
That is that one coming.
Yeah, you know, I have a very, very amazing support system. I don't need any kind of negativity. Yeah. People will say what they want to say. Mm-hmm. If you do good, they're going to talk about it. If you do bad, they're going to talk about it. But the one thing is, in the end, I'll keep killing it, regardless of every position that, opportunity that I am handed.
And that's how I wrap up the bulletin this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. Marketplace is up next to enjoy the rest of our programs.